Stand for pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 5 minutes, please. Thank you. Okay. This meeting is announced and has been called in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act. And an announcement of the same had been mailed to the local newspaper and to the clerk of the Borough of Belmar. And that the minutes of this meeting will be available at the board approval at a subsequent meeting.
Commissioner Lynch is absent. Commissioner Orchard?
Here.
Commissioner Sharrock?
Here.
Commissioner Ramey is absent. Commissioner Casserly?
Here.
Commissioner McCracken?
Here.
Commissioner Rossano?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, we actually have to go into executive session for a personnel matter. And then everyone can return, so we'll do that now.
Yeah, so I have resolution authorizing closed session. I need somebody to make that motion.
I'll make the motion.
1 second.
Commissioner Orchard?
Yes.
Commissioner Sharrock?
Yes.
Commissioner Casserly?
Yes.
Commissioner McCracken?
Yes.
Commissioner Massano? Okay. We're just gonna ask everybody to leave for a few minutes, we shouldn't be too long. You guys shouldn't be too long.
Are there plenty of chairs?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we can continue on with the regular meeting.
Okay, as far as the executive session, we were just saying, we're tabling that for.
Well, when we get to that.
Okay.
For the, yeah.
Okay,
No, we gotta go do approval of minutes for October.
okay.
I just need a motion for that.
So moved. I'll second.
Okay.
Commissioner Orchard?
Yes.
Commissioner Sharrock?
Yeah,
Commissioner Casserly?
Yes.
Commissioner McCracken?
Yes.
Commissioner Massano?
okay, we're on to approval for the bills for November. Has anybody looked at them? Any questions?
I have
No
none.
questions.
Maria, any questions on the bills?
And I just
Okay.
need a motion.
I'll make it.
Second.
Commissioner Orchard?
Yes.
Commissioner Sharrock?
Yes.
Commissioner Casserly?
Yes.
Commissioner McCracken?
Yes.
Commissioner Massano?
Okay, reports from executive.
Well, he gave me a
Go
couple
ahead.
things, I'll just go over a couple things that Paul left me with in his absence. The first thing is, we've hired Northeast Generators to replace the transfer switch for the generator. They were looking at just fixing parts, but apparently I guess there's no guarantee by just replacing the parts, so they're actually gonna replace the generator.
Oh, I like that, okay.
Not generator, the transfer switch, sorry. He also said that, we would like to try to go with, alternate A on the facade repair, moving forward with that. We received $4,800 back from the insurance company for the elevator repair. I believe that bill was a little over $9,000.
And we received more than half that.
Yeah, I'll double check on the total bill, I'm not
That's
sure off the
great.
top of my head, but yes, we did get $4,800 back. We were awarded the Low Loss Achievement Award from the Housing Authority Insurance Group again this year. We currently have 2 vacancies. One person moved out of state and another person moved to higher care. One of those vacancies will be filled this week, and I'm actually meeting with the new tenant Friday. No, we didn't. She's still there. And lastly, the VNA was in to give the boosters, and 20 residents took the boosters on October 12th.
Was it the booster or was it the new shot?
I think it was his 4th booster or
That's
something.
the booster.
Yeah.
The new booster.
The new booster.
Okay.
That's good, 20.
It's the 4th shot, it's the 2nd booster.
There you go.
Right.
Okay.
So, and that's all he asked me to report on. Oh, sorry, one other thing. HUD will be here on November 22nd to do their building inspection.
Okay.
How soon do they report back to us after their inspection?
I don't think it will take that long, probably within a month.
So we could have it by the December
The
meeting?
December meeting possibly,
December's
yeah,
the
probably
early
not,
January.
yeah. Probably you'll have it
Okay.
before for January's meeting.
And that's for the audience in case they would like
Yeah,
to know.
sure, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, that's it for that.
Okay, correspondence?
None.
Nothing. Old business? New business?
We have consent agendas for resolutions on for tonight, but I think you said you wanna pull one of those resolutions from
Better-
consent agenda.
Yeah, yes, the 15, 2022-15, we're gonna table it.
So you have resolution 2022-16, which is resolution approving engineer scope of work for building facade project. So that's the second phase of the engineering's original scope of work. This is for them to start the process of preparing bid specs, going out to bid, taking bids, awarding, and construction administration of the project. Resolution 2022-17 is resolution appointing the elevator consultant company. And then resolution 2022-18 is resolution approving the elevator consultant scope of work for the main elevator. And if everybody's in agreement with those three resolutions, I would just need a motion.
I have no problem with that.
I'll second.
Commissioner Orchard,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharon,
Yes.
Commissioner Casserly,
Yes.
Commissioner McCracken,
Yes.
Commissioner Masano.
Yes. Okay, reports from the commissioners.
Yeah, I just have a brief report. I had an opportunity a couple weeks ago to speak to Dean Santa, who's the head of the office, of our regional office for HUD. And I was sharing with him the challenges we're having with the facade and what needs to be done, and that we're having, an engineer evaluate it and is drawing up bid specs to replace it. This is a common problem in HUD buildings, so it's not something that's gonna be new to the HUD office when a proposal goes in to have them approved to replace this. But here's something that he shared we're gonna have to take a look at, I think. So he shared with me that HUD is looking and encouraging housing providers to review alternate ways to finance capital projects. And he said that the RAD program,
I'm sorry, RAD?
RAD, yeah, is a HUD program that allows you to do restoration projects and finance it through a secondary market, through banks or another market, rather than to have that included in the HUD budget. So, I mean, we'll see how this unfolds with the engineers and the advice that HUD gives us, but he said a lot of these capital financing projects that they're doing that are, this one's gonna be several $1 million, or at least a couple $1 million. They're encouraging authorities to finance through that RAD program.
And do the entire thing at
Yeah.
once?
I can also, just to add on to that, I know Paul has spoken with our accountant about these alternative plans as well, and I know he's still going over those with the accountant. I think they were gonna get it put together.
Sounds good.
Looking at the same thing, doing the
Similar.
entire, yeah. Okay, remarks from the general public?
I'd like to say something.
Sure.
Please just state your name and address.
Mike Carl, and I live in 3A. It concerns Mike Carr. I mean, there was never a problem with the boat. He works his backside off here, and people complained, and he had to remove his boat, and I heard he's paying close to $1,000 a month now to have it docked someplace. I don't know where. So I was pretty upset over it myself, because the boat was never in anybody's way. And I thought some of the commissioners or Paul would stick up for him, because he's been here for so long, and he really is helpful for everybody in the building. That's basically all I wanted to say about it,
Okay.
you know. And I don't know where his boat is, or if he can bring it back, but, I was hoping that you guys or somebody would let him, and you know, he does work very hard here, and he does take his boat, well, in the lake over there, and it, you know, it just.
We can
would-
discuss that,
Yeah,
okay.
but that's basically it. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Mike.
Anyone else?
Yes. Richard Heen, apartment 2B. In regard to the boat, I understand there's supposed to have been a town ordinance about it being there. I understand that Mike was never shown any such ordinance, and the people that complained about the boat were no one in the building, from what I understand. It was some outside entity. You need to take that into consideration, because if we have problems here with our people here, it should remain here. If people come from an outside source, I don't know what their impetus is for that. People here were interested in where we live, and our safety, security, and all of that. When it starts getting out, it starts to smell like a political maneuver or
No, I
somebody
hear
looking
you,
for
I hear
press.
you, yeah.
So please take that into consideration. Mike's a good friend of mine. When your son, Chris, you're Chris Venture's mother, right?
No, Mary is.
Oh,
Mary's
She's
not here
not here
tonight.
tonight.
Mary's
okay,
not
I'm
here
sorry,
tonight.
get you ladies confused. When he approached me about if I knew Mike Carr, I said yes, that he was a personal friend of mine and very, very talented guy. They were seeking to get a security clearance for him. So I was part of getting this guy in here. So anything that gets thrown at him really upsets me a little bit more than it might the other tenants, because I know the guy for a long time.
So you feel as though a lot of the tenants in here had no problem with that boat?
Yeah, I never heard a single person here ever complain about it. That's my
Okay,
point.
let's-
That's why
We'll talk about that, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so if there's, I know that if there is such a town ordinance, then you may have to, you
Well, we'll
know.
look into it.
Yeah,
And see if there
but
is.
if somebody comes to you and says to you, you're doing something wrong, and they say there's a law or an ordinance, but no one says the ordinance number or shows you
I
this,
agree.
is it true or not?
I
That's
agree.
all. Okay, so
Well
I,
said, thank you.
yeah, I think that we should give them a little slack.
Okay, we'll look into it, thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else?
So that, there's a police officer outside, you can ask him about the ordinance if you have.
We
You
can
might
check
know
it,
the answer
we
to
can
that.
check it, we can do it ourselves, Nicole Carl.
Comment, adjourn the meeting.
Okay. You want?
Make a comment?
Yep, yeah.
Okay, in September and October, I asked you if you could come up with an emergency protocol handbook for the tenants with contact numbers. Has anything been done about that yet?
Emergency handbook.
We're still waiting for it.
Did we come up with numbers? We had.
We do
all
have
the numbers,
the
right?
emergency plan that does have all the emergencies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right
so I
here.
can give her a copy of it.
yeah.
That was revised
Okay,
immediately.
okay.
Right.
Next item, okay. The heat in the building can be very, very hot. I know that the thermostat is set around 75. By the time it rises, as if on the 6th floor, it feels like it's 80 degrees. And that's why many people leave their air conditioners in during the winter,
I've heard that before.
because it's so hot. Is there any way that the heat can be lowered? If the people are cold, they can wear a sweater. I'd rather be cold and wear a sweater than hot.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, but isn't there like a ruling, maybe you know, isn't there like from certain time to certain time and it's gotta be at a certain temperature?
Right.
There are
By law?
guidelines, yes.
I think we'd have to follow the guidelines on what
Yeah.
that is.
There are guidelines, is what they're
75
saying.
high, though.
Okay, the other item, on the wall in the lobby, next to the elevator, is a defibrillator in a box
Mhm.
that's been there for about 10 years. My question is, has that ever been calibrated in the 10 years? Is anyone in our building trained to use it? If the battery's dead,
Right.
no good. But if nobody's trained to use it, why not give it to the Belmar First Aid Squad? I'm sure they can use an extra one. Because when they come, they bring the defibrillator anyway if somebody's having a heart attack. So just a suggestion, I hate to see that sitting there and it's not being used. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'd
Yeah.
hate to give it away too.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's a good
I'd
idea to
hate to
have
give
it
it
in the
away,
building,
oh
but I
yeah,
do
you can
agree
save a
with
life,
these checked.
yeah. I wouldn't wanna be the one to say, oh God, they lost their life because we gave that away, no way. I don't agree with that I don't agree with.
But I do agree with that, it should be.
Oh,
checked,
absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
and-
Okay.
Buy this.
One more thing. This is all positive, so it's not gloom and doom for me. October 19th, I held a greet and meet for the first responders in Belmar. We had a really good turnout. About 15 first responders showed up. Chief Scott showed up, and Brian Pulford, and Fire Marshal Ryan D'Elia. And about 11 or 15 tenants showed up. And the funny thing is, 10 minutes after we had the meeting, the power went out.
I know.
Yesterday, the power went out. But we were very lucky to have them in the building. We all had a good laugh about it. In 15 minutes, the
Right.
power went back on. And so everybody had cake and coffee. VMS, Southern Monmouth Regional Emergency Medical Services, gave everybody a handout. It's called File of Life, and asked them to fill it out and put it out their refrigerator so that it's accessible for the first aid people if they have an
Okay.
emergency. Okay? The police came, spoke about phone scams. They have this, they passed this out. Very good information because a lot of people are being called at high incidents and people being scammed over the phone. Okay, and the Fire Marshal Leo was talking about the possibility of having a fire safety inspection in the people's apartment to check their circuit, to check their adapter, to check their power surges. Everybody was for that. Everybody wants that. So all in all, it's very positive event, you know.
Very good.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Missy.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, make a motion up to adjourn.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, everybody have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Maria, feel
Happy
better, please let us know if
Thanksgiving.
you need
Please
anything,
Oh,
okay?
Yes, everybody vote.
Have a good night.
Good luck, Jim.
You too, you too. Happy Thanksgiving.